I guess we forgot to launch the recording. Oh, it's fine. We already started right now, so it's gonna be alright. And we're gonna talk, of course, about both options, which is continue to working with the company and termination of the contract. And once again, some people misunderstood or were not attended to the previous events about the calculation. If you choose to continue working with the resource, with the company, there is no recalculation. All assets that you were in your hands before are already with the same amount in the OneTrade. You just going through a different conditions that's already written in Arbcore. You can read it when you have time, and everything gonna be step by step. So it's gonna be a steady continue of re-establishing the working processes, and there is no time limits. We patient. You can read all the conditions, all the paper in your own pace. It's all right. And about the communities, we have 5 days before we're gonna make to some decision to conclude a list of how teams gonna be look like. So yeah, we have time frame for that. Now let's get more closely to the continue and termination options. Oh, and one very important moment for those who are gonna continue working with the company. When you first time gonna log in your account, you need to actually fill the password field yourself, not using Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. Just use your hands for the first time, for the first login on the resource. That's important. Otherwise, you're gonna see the error log. So now for those who are gonna terminate the contracts, there's gonna be a separate section, a separate tab with all the different assets you have in different cryptocurrencies, all of course summarized to the equal in USDT. And yes, if you terminate the contract, then everything going to be recalculated, including how much you actually received by the partnership program, by the network program, and do you actually not met to the break-even point, which is, according to statistic, is 72.3 different members. Yes, that's people who already received the profit to the amount of their initial deposit, so they break this even point. And there is no actual reason for them to terminate the contract because, well, you're gonna see a zero. Basically gonna see a zero and you will not receive anything because you already compensated with your funds. But if we continue with termination, there is a certain time frame for the payments, of course. First of all, in priority, there's people who enter the project at the last moment. Of course, those people who got on the last days, and of course, the number of funds they not on the break-even point is this remaining people 28%. So yes, and there is going to be a time frame. First of all, in this schedule is people who enter lastly, then others. So of course, there's going to be a different schedule for that. Yes, now we're gonna get to the OneTrade pretty soon enough. I just on the line with my programmer. He put on after reinvest. I ask why, because how gonna show them in Arbcore? He just gonna put it back together. Just give me a second.
Переводи.
As I can see, the Arbcore now is fully updated, so we're gonna land into that field pretty soon, and all partners can get to that as well and already choose their actions, make a decision. We have a time frame for making a decision. It's most likely gonna be 5 days to certainly conclude if you want to continue with the company or not. Then if you choose continue, then there is no time frame for reactivating assets. Now let's get going. I'm gonna launch the screen demonstration. First of all, we get to OneTrade, then to Arbcore. And yes, we're gonna cover the mini app. It's gonna be really different. It's pretty different from what we have in Arbcore, like completely. Despite what we have on our website, it's pretty similar, but in mini app and Telegram, it's completely different. Now, we're gonna start. So here in OneTrade, what you need to pay attention is to the side menu on the right. Here, as I mentioned before, you need to fill up your profile, your account details. It is important for us to understand. And KYC, it's only verification is requested only if the company spotted that you violated some rules or make something which is not supposed to happen, some abusement of the system. But nevertheless, all the details in the profile and details on the KYC, no matter what, should be, of course, connected with your documentation. It should be related. So yes, and the contact number, please use the international format for us to actually contact you if the operator ever needs that as a request. So, to the moments of after trade, after withdrawal, everyone, I guess, know what that means. Of course, those who were in the company in Arbcore already accustomed to that. Arbpro as well is when every member who have enough of the investment can also operate, is the same as before. And every one of you could actually check every single tab here, from arbitrage to all contracts, documentation, everything we want. Now to the cryptocurrencies. Here we have a list of available cryptocurrency with which we operate in arbitration. Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, it will work in a way that in crypto pairs, USDT, Solana, USDT, Bitcoin, USDT, Ethereum, USDT, Polygon, and so on. And all the different transactions could actually be verified and checked you personally. All of them on a different exchanges, on a different explorers. You can always get inside and check from the very exchange account how it's happened, what the numbers and what is the TIX ID and so on. Everything could be seen and transparent as well. Now, I really want you to check the tab documentation. Here we have all sorts of valuable information we have, which is, well, basically documentation on all the companies here. Arbcore, Arb Group, basically the unification of all the companies under the brand, and it's everything that you have is here. You can check everything. OneTrade is, of course, the company with two licenses, the crypto arbitrage and the brokerage licenses, and both of them could be checked as well. Cybercento is the company which is in rights for the partnership program, network program, and more below. And more below, you can see all the exchanges we have in our hands. They right now at the private format, but after 5 days, when all the members gonna make a decision, they become active and will be shown in public with all the details and all the documentation and licenses as well. And on all the other different sections, you can actually check yourself. You already know that field, you familiarize with the same interface UI, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. Now, as well to the network and partnership programs. Of course, we have a lot of network leaders. So yes, in the correlate section, also in Telegram, you could check it as well. In my demonstration is all on the experimental side here, but you can check yourself with the common, of course, conditions. Now, about the network program, everything is going to be updated with the network, but not every 5 minutes, of course. To not overload the system, we're gonna make an updates of the current structure every day for the 5 days until all members gonna make a decision. So yes, be aware of that. Now to the settings. To the actual settings of the account. Here you can actually reset your password, put on two-factor authentication, or it's going to be transmitted, of course, and connect Telegram. For those who using the Telegram, you can get to it from the web version. It is here. Now to the about FAQ. It's very important to check it out because, well, yes, the arbitration system is not changed, but it is the very important component, the very important gear inside that were changed. So please check it out to know and actually have a valuable information, because you're gonna be shared this information with your communities. You need to be aware what is happening. Also check out the roadmap, because we have plans and goals, including getting to the number of 16 exchanges. So yes, it is really important to check out both the information, the tabs, the FAQ, and roadmap. And yes, on the start, we are very aware that we have a great international community, so we have the options of the 20 different languages right here. So yes, we can check it right here. Everything we need. You can choose the appropriate language or corresponding that you want. If you didn't see the language you would want to see, well, of course, you can ask your upline or make a request directly in support, and we're gonna actually consider to add in a new language. And it will, of course, gonna be spent some days for that, but no matter what, if there is actual need in that, we could do that. And about the support, for now, for these 5 days, all the support requests is going to be from the inside. So yes, on the web version. So in turn, that no other different chats or requests would just disappear in thin air. Everything should be done from the inside support. That's, of course, for the convenience of us and every one of you as well. Also, there's going to be adjustments and fixes on the visual part. So yes, for the convenience of partners, if you would see any visual bugs or something inconvenient, please, it is going to be a pleasure if you're going to leave the feedback for us, because the resource is quite large, and of course there could be something we didn't count it, didn't check out. So yeah, if you see any bugs on the visual part, please send the request and we're gonna check it out. It's important because of course we're making it for a community, and if community see something, it should be of course let to the support to our own notice. Also, for the convenience, as before, we make a few different mirror links where you can actually choose this or other domains. This is for a reason if there is a question or situation with getting access to the website. Like in Russia, there could be some problems, so yeah, we created a few mirrors exactly for that purpose. And in Telegram, if there is some problems in countries with some restrictions, do not be shy to use VPN. It's understandable. So yes, I think the main mass of changes and the work process is gonna be reviewed when we're gonna start the process, of course, and the first trades, the first exchange movements, and so on, gonna be reviewed as well at the start of work. And it all depends on the community's decisions, their pace. If they are going to make a decision fast, then of course we're going to get to the work process much greater in pace. It doesn't matter if they choose the termination of the contracts or continue working. We basically just need to know how much it is on the table, how much places gonna be left, and what we need to do with the available spots and how much we have in volumes and so on, how the whole world field gonna be on this direction. So yes, please, leaders, that's of course in turn of the communities or of your teams, please be aware and make sure to spread the information. Make sure that people actually not go careless with such information and actually get it done. Core for me is going to be fast. For you, it's going to be a little time for you to wait. Here is only one section available, which is the work management, with two options here, which is continue working or finishing working. And the current moment, of course, we're gonna go with the continue working with assets and check out how the whole pass is going. Also, 20 minutes time frame right now for the whole conversion of all the assets that members have in different cryptocurrencies to one equivalent in USDT. It's happening right now. So yes, if you choose the termination, you will see the conversion fully. Just need to wait for like 20 minutes. At the end of this Zoom conference, it's gonna be already done. Now, very important for those who gonna continue working with assets, you just gonna need to get all the data correct. For those who are gonna terminate the contract, you need to put in the field of your wallet only USDT ton. We're working right now only with that, and after a calculation, you will see the date when you receive the compensation. and then click on Finish Working. Please be aware to put the right wallet. For those who are gonna go with termination, you need to know that your account is in OneTrade gonna be blocked just as you gonna actually finish working. So be aware of that. There is no way that you could actually, if you change your decision and try to log in with the same information, with the same data and password, is going to be blocked as well. Of course, if you change the data, you could create another account, but to that we're gonna get later. I just need you to understand that when you press the button Finish and Working, all your data is gonna be blocked from that account. And that's mean when you create in the other account, you'll be on the bottom of the whole structure. Because of course, the structure is transferred and you basically create a new account. Just gonna continue, you need to understand that your assets, your actual funds are gonna be split to 10 pieces, and the whole process of unfrozen and continue working with the dates and the pace, it's different. So please check the conditions, check the information here before continue. After pressing the button like I just done, you can see the brief information about OneTrade and links on Telegram bot on the web version, so mirrors of course, and plus here is a link to the chat of OneTrade in Telegram. Please check all the information because it is important. Point of I think everything is clear for you right now. There's links that get you to the corresponding Telegram mini app version. If you were logging through that, it's gonna be fast. You just need to enter, and it's done. On the web version, when you get through the link, you need to fill your email, your password, and two-factor authentication, this same that you used for Arbcore. And after you successfully authorize, you can change everything you want and two-factor authentication, everything you need to be more secured, of course. Now, when you actually press everything, you now have the only one tab here is continue working. So yes, decision is permanent, and the volume you see here is already transferred in OneTrade. And yes, here actually you see the all data on OneTrade and on Arbcore. So yes, here exactly you can see the assets you have and the conditions or what you need to do to complete and unfroze the funds. Everything will be here. Now about the Arbcore itself, of course, when the main mass of our community gonna make a decision to one or other way, then the Arbcore also gonna continue the working process, just not with the same volumes, with the legal entities. And of course, there's a different deposits, different funds, and so on, different flow, while all the physical entities gonna be transferred to OneTrade and gonna be working with that. So yes, Arbcore as well gonna work with our own exchanges. We're gonna adjust the system to that, but with the different flow. So yes, and we'll briefly get into all the information we needed. And I guess on Thursday or on a Friday, well, since it's 5 days, most likely on Friday, we're gonna make another international Zoom call. And to that point, the main mass of the community, we were gonna make a decision. When it's gonna be 75%, I guess, then we're gonna start working. By the way, for those who write that they couldn't get into Arbcore, try to clear your cache, because the old data could possibly block you from logging in or entering the website. So please try to clear cache and then enter your accounts in Arbcore. Also, I want to repeat myself on how does the ARP Pro working. They have the accounts on their own, on our exchanges, on all of them, their own accounts, and the arbitration is gonna be, of course, with their own volumes, so there's not gonna be time spent on forming the pools. Previously, we taken 10% from the income, now we taking 25%. So yes, we taking more, but in the same time, since we saving the amount of time on the forming the pools, we working directly with the volumes of our Arbitration Pro members, which means more transactions, more deals, and the same profitability is increased and the system working better. So yes, now it's more profit and the whole system is working better. But you need to understand it's for people with the certain deposits frame. If you have below that limit, then you go in with the pools with other members and you still could check where your funds go, in what pool they're forming, and how the arbitration is proceed with transactions, with of course two transactions, because it's this synchronous arbitration where there is a selling and buying at the same time, and you can check it just you will see the volume of the whole pool, while those who on Arbitration Pro will see their own volume. Yes, it is important. That's why we noted it. Now about the partnership programs, all the details gonna be on the next Zoom, but here's the updates. It's arriving, and also the new program is gonna be here, which is the Partner Challenge. It's going to be on a permanent basis. Every week there's going to be a certain pool forming from rewards, and it's going to be separated, and then there's going to be a challenge like top 10 different people with the rate charts and so on. So investors could use that opportunity, but all the conditions and so on you can check yourself when the update is going to arrive, and we're also going to check it out on the next international Zoom call. I think for most network leaders it's gonna be not needed because they have enough profit as it is, but it's gonna be more used for the investors who want to use every tool available in their hands, and rewards included. So yes, we're gonna get to a deep dive as always into that later. All right, the screen demonstration is stopped. It is great. There was a question if the partnership links is working. Yes, they are. At the moment, while people is considering their decision, you could actually build your structure or rebuilding it, or maybe starting anew if there was nothing at all at the start. So yes, you can already begin to make your own structure. Everything is at hand and working. My Telegram is buzzing all the time. I just didn't turn it off, and I see there's messages constantly going down and down. We're gonna have a Zoom call with the conclave and the top leaders, by the way, then that's why I having so much noise on my phone. Okay, now, to the moment, we are planning the next Zoom on Friday. Remember that we're gonna put through analysis and how much people is already, how many people gonna be already make a decision, and then we either gonna start the product and go in on the exchanges, going to start the working processes, or if there's gonna be not enough people, then we're gonna wait. But the main date of launch is Friday. That's what I can put on my table. Because the instrument is already prepared, all the exchanges are working, and documentation signed and everything is formed. We just need to see the picture here. Legal part, of course, could be checked out on every company, and we have a roadmap for the whole year. We have a great and quite large in hate, of course, as well by the matter of goals, because every month we want one exchange at the very least adding on every single month. As a side goal, we have the products for the members and for the community, as well as adding it to the whole brand of our group. And everything is already connected to the law of normative acts. So yes, if there was people who complained that the name domain was not connected to the legal part, everything is already gonna be done and formed. You can verify it, every single one. And when the legal base is gonna be formed, it as well gonna be publicly available and could be seen transparently as well. There was a message in Telegram why you looked so upset. Not upset, actually. It's more tired because, of course, if previously we have only Arbcore, right now it's OneTrade. And that's including the product, the OneTrade itself, and the exchanges, and they have their own updates. The updates on the exchange activity, on the quality of work, quality of life features, because, of course, their personal account should provide a lot to the members as well, and that's a lot to process. That's a big part of job to be done. So yes, it's more of a calm and tired, not upset. But yeah, there's quite large piece of work here. Transmitting from one energy to another could be done with a snap of a finger, so yes. Nevertheless, let's get to the positive energy right at the end of the Zoom conference. So, with the position, if you go in forward with the company together side by side, you'll be pretty surprised, pleasantly of course, with the arbitration spread, with the work. Of course, a lot of people already saw with their experience with the work with the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, or XRP. The spread doesn't change at all, but the income is pretty good. So for those people who want to get into the details of that program, it's also going to be a pleasant surprise for them because their profitability here is also increased. We reconsider the system, make some adjustments in different part of it, 3 separate accounts with different limitations, but nevertheless, with the whole reconstruction of levels in D for the network program, the whole income is increased in 3 times. No, even 3.5 times. And those people who actively working with the network programs reward system, they will see the number of adjustments and upgrades with it. And also for people who are more of a technical sides, who want the hash of transactions, who want verification, who want clarity. First on the table for them is clarity. They can check the whole information on the website or on Telegram version mini app. So yes, we actually close the need of all the network leaders, those who work in with reward system, those who are just investors. Everyone have their own needs and tools in their possession. So it is going to be great because investors most of all want information and clarity, and we can deliver just that. Plus the products, not forget that we have a lot of development before and nothing changed. We still have plenty of developments and concepts. So yes, it's gonna be the end of our Zoom call. I also want to make sure you know that the Russian chats most likely gonna be disbanded because most of the leaders were also disbanded for various reasons. But those who want to continue working with us, you can bravely make a first step on the new link in Telegram chat of OneTrade. So nevertheless, we're gonna keep working together no matter what. And as our magnificent leader Vlad like to say, be blessed. Yes, I heard that one quite a lot, so that's the reason why I guess I start to say it as well. Be blessed, my friends, and of course, have a great mood, have a great morning, day, evening, or night, depending on your time frame. We're gonna see together soon enough on a Friday, on the end of this week, and I hope we're gonna start working and gonna be even more successful than before. Once again, be blessed, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.